Our aim is to develop children who are confident, independent learners. To facilitate this, teachers and children must have a shared understanding of what is to be learned, the learning objective. We use the acronym WALT with our younger pupils, which stands for We Are Learning Too, when we introduce the learning objective to the children. In this Year 1 class, the children are sitting on the carpet talking with their chatting chums about what they know about a sentence. Sharing ideas with a partner gives the children time to think and process the information and clarify their thoughts before they share with the whole class. It also ensures all children are actively involved in the lesson. By then asking the children about their understanding, here, using traffic light cards, the teacher ensures that all lessons can be differentiated to meet the needs of all learners. Traffic light cards are used throughout the school to enable the children to indicate how they feel about an activity they are working on or have completed. Green, if they are confident with the work they are completing, are now able to assist others. Orange, if they are completing the task but are finding it challenging. And red, if they are finding their learning difficult and require extra support. Back in our Year 1 class, the teacher then shares with the children how they will be successful in their learning. This is called the success criteria. The acronym WILF stands for What I Am Looking For. There is also a WILF relating to the learning power skill the children have been working on. At the end of the lesson, the children will revisit the success criteria. They will use traffic lights or thumbs up to indicate whether they have met each of these. In this Year 2 class, the teacher is asking the children what they can remember about polygons from yesterday's lesson. This ensures the children make links in their learning and how the lesson fits in with the bigger learning picture. This is the second session in a unit of work on shape in which the children are learning about making nets. During the lesson, the children refer back to their WILF. In this case, to make nets using all the given polygons. The teacher praises the children for good working habits, referring to the golden rules displayed on the wall. Towards the end of the lesson, the teacher asks the children to buddy mark each other's work, using prompts such as, I really liked it, or it would been better if. In addition to peer assessment, peer tutoring can be a valuable strategy. In this Year 1 class, Year 6 children have been asked to support the pupils' learning by sharing and consolidating their own knowledge of 3D shape, a strategy that is rewarding for both the older and younger children. Throughout the school, teacher feedback can take a number of forms, including a system of marking symbols that develop in complexity through the year groups. Teachers, as well as children, use this across the curriculum to indicate areas such as punctuation, grammar and spelling that needs to be developed. Comments identify what has been done well and what still needs to be improved. Children are given guidance on how to make those improvements. Opportunities for pupils to follow up on comments are planned in as part of the overall learning process. To be as effective as possible, the aim of the feedback is to facilitate the children's ability to evaluate and improve their work more independently. Teachers therefore ensure that the marking that is completed for a piece of work relates back to the learning objective and the success criteria. In this Year 4 lesson, pupils will use the Language Learning Objective, LO, as a development of WALT and WILF. In this lesson too, there are additional learning objectives relating to the learning muscles the children will be developing during the lesson. In most lessons, teachers will set such split-screen objectives, one relating to the skills and understanding being developed in the lesson, the other relating to the key learning disposition. In this Year 4 class, the children are also using traffic lights. At points during a lesson, all the orange children can be called together for an extra piece of instruction. Reds can be given extra support or assistance, and greens can be moved on to more challenging work. Traffic lights can also be used to develop peer tutoring. It has been proven that children and adults learn more quickly and with greater comprehension if they are given the opportunity to explain their work to others. Greens can be asked to write or explain tips for children in other groups to help them develop their understanding. Reds and oranges can think of a question that they need answering to help them move on, and greens can be asked to develop the answers. Or children can be asked to pair up with someone from a different colour to discuss work in progress, or to refer back to the success criteria and identify what is actually causing the difficulties. Within Year 4, as elsewhere in the school, children and adults use brain breaks as a means of re-energising themselves. Brain breaks can take many forms but often include balancing and coordination activities. As a more formal means of peer and self-assessment, the children in this Year 6 class are using marking ladders which set out the success criteria for a particular piece of work. These help to highlight the next steps in each child's learning. The children in this class are traffic lighting a test they have undertaken, an example of using an assessment for formative as well as summative purposes. Our specialist teachers use many of the teaching and learning strategies highlighted above. Subjects such as DT, music, art and PE lend themselves particularly well to peer and self-assessment. These Year 6 children are evaluating pieces of artwork using success criteria, devised by the pupils themselves. By being aware of the criteria for assessment, the pupils are able to offer constructive advice as to how each picture can be improved. In this PE class, flip cameras have been used to film the pupils playing basketball. The teacher then stops the lesson to show the pupils the film. Freeze frame and slow motion are used to study techniques and tactics before the class return to the court to put improvements into action. In this geography class in the senior school, the students are undertaking a marketplace activity. Students act as specialists in a particular aspect of a topic. Groups of students then visit each specialist in turn, recording key learning points. This can be a highly effective means of sharing a large amount of information in a short time. In this RE class, the students are using a 6 hats approach to investigate solutions to a moral dilemma posed by the teacher. This approach, developed by Edward de Bono, is used by organisations around the world. By wearing, sometimes literally, each of the hats in turn, students are able to look at a problem and its solution from every possible angle, and are thus able to reach an informed and balanced conclusion. We move on to the modern foreign languages area and meet a class of Year 7 students who are reviewing their written German homework. The students are discussing the levels that they have been awarded by consulting the assessment criteria in their exercise books and displayed on the classroom wall. They are clear about what they need to do in the next piece of work to gain a higher award. As we move to the Business Studies Economics department, we see small groups of Year 10 students creating questions which are to be set for homework that evening. This stretches the students' imagination and creative faculties as they construct a challenging question to test their understanding. In the art department, we see a teacher discussing displays of exemplar work, enabling all the students to fully appreciate what is required to achieve the highest grades before they embark on similar projects. The goal is made clear in the students' minds. Next, we visit a form tutor room where Year 10 students are completing a self-assessment exercise prior to the issue of their first interim report. The form requires the student to reflect on their strengths and areas for development in each of their academic subject areas. Some students need more structured guidance and consult their tutor for advice. In an adjoining office, we see a Year 11 tutor who is comparing a student's school assessment grades, indicating his current level of attainment with standardized data, which indicates his potential. We next move to the English department, where we see students analysing an example of an essay produced by another student in the class. The teacher reminds the student of the assessment criteria in the set task, before the students discuss the feedback given of their own essays, highlighting both strengths and areas for development. With no mark on the piece of work, the focus is on understanding how to improve, and the targets for the next essay are clearly articulated.